Hi. I just wanted to talk tantrums with you today because I sort of feel like this is my specialist subject. I totally and utterly get where you're coming from if you're suffering with tantrums right now, because my two boys were absolutely horrific. They had some belters of tantrums, let me tell you. And I totally get how disempowering it can be, how distressing it can be for you as a parent as well as your child, how helpless you can be made to feel. Um, let alone feeling judged and embarrassed in the supermarket. We can't help to feel like that, can we? Especially when our little ones are putting on this fabulous floor show. And I'm laughing, but honestly, I do know where you're coming from because I used to be mortified sometimes as well. And everybody's looking at you, and all you can think is that they're thinking, she can't control that child. Isn't that child being naughty? Look at her. How badly behaved is that one? And this is the sort of things that you're thinking, isn't it? And I suppose it's a normal gut reaction. And maybe some of them aren't even thinking that at all. Maybe some of them are. But do you know what? You just have to switch off from that. I know that's easy to say, and I certainly didn't. But what they don't understand is what I'm about to tell you about why children tantrum. And I think once you have a sort of basic understanding of it, it can help you to deal with it as well, and it can help you to pinpoint what's actually causing the tantrums. So what's happening for your child when they're in the throes of tantrums is that their brain is getting flooded with all these stress hormones, and they are experiencing a number of emotions, but these emotions, they don't know what they are. They don't understand them. So they're getting all these feelings and they don't know what the heck they are. Um, and so they're feeling, they might be feeling fear, they might be feeling annoyed, they might be feeling loss, frustration, disappointment for a number of reasons. And it's an emotional pain, and they don't know what to do with it. And not only don't they know what to do with it, they don't understand it, and they can't tell you either because they don't understand it. They don't know what it is, and even if they did, they may not be vocal enough yet to tell you or to put it into words. So you can imagine how frustrating that actually is, or confusing, or a bit scary for them. And you know, we all know as adults how difficult it is to keep our cool when we're about to blow us top, don't we? I mean, I do, because you know, it's a work in progress for me, and I have to be really mindful of it sometimes. And how you react to those situations can sometimes escalate it and blow it out of all proportion. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, you can't help it, can you? You just cannot help it. And it's difficult. And these are our little children we're talking about that have never really sort of experienced all these emotions and feelings before. So can you understand how difficult it is for them as well? And I think if you try to bear that in mind about tantrums, then it sort of helps you to be mindful of how you're reacting. And one of the best things that you can do is to actually acknowledge the feelings, because whilst you're acknowledging them, you're actually saying, I can hear you, I understand. And you can start to teach them what they're feeling as well. So watch out for what's triggered them and what it might be that's upsetting them. So for me, one time, or quite often, my one of my sons used to get annoyed that the cooker wouldn't cook his food quick enough because he was hungry and he wanted that food then and there. He wasn't interested that I couldn't make the cooker cook quicker. He didn't get that. He didn't understand. Even if he could understand, he probably didn't want to understand. But I equally couldn't understand why he was behaving the way he was. And my response might have been to get down to him and say, look, I totally understand that you're really, really hungry and your tummy's rumbling, but I can't make that cooker go any quicker, but I'm going to get that food to you as quick as I can. But I didn't do that because as a mum of three, I was multitasking, I was running around. It might have been at the end of the day, I was tired, there might have been my other children asking for things. So all that impacts how you actually relate to the tantrum, doesn't it? So it's all about being mindful as well. But if you can try understand and try see it from their point of view, then it helps you to work out what they were actually tantrum about in the first place, and it gives you a bit of that level of empathy to understand where they're coming from. So then how can you actually keep calm and deal with these tantrums then? Because it's all right for me to say this, isn't it? And there's really no one particular answer, is there? Because sometimes your emotions will appear and you will probably blow your top, because do you know what? I still do it now, and I understand a lot of these things, and I certainly used to do it when I was a mum of young children. So, there's no right or wrong answers. You've got to find ways that are right for you, and don't beat yourself up if you do actually blow your top, because we're all human, aren't we? And we're here to learn. It's Parenting is one massive, huge learning curve. My children are a bit older now, and I'm still learning, because what works for one child doesn't work for the other, and it's all balancing the plates and trying to keep all on an even keel. So, what can you actually do then to help with these tantrums? Well, as I've said, you can acknowledge those feelings for a start, so that your child feels heard and understood. Try acknowledge the feelings that they're having, try work it out. Try preempt what might cause the tantrum. So, if you know that your child starts because they get hungry, because they're bored, or because they're tired, try preempt that. And if you're going out, then try do something about that so that they aren't in that state, which will cause a tantrum. And don't try rush to fix the tantrum, because once they have got past that stage and their brains are flooded with this hormone, it's almost like a cycle. They have to go through it. You can't stop it. I know I've been in that supermarket going, shh, be quiet, stop it, stop it, stop it, because I felt judged and embarrassed. But they're not going to. You're better to just pick them up quietly and take them out where nobody's watching you and you don't feel judged and embarrassed. They're not going to stop. They can't. They don't have the power to calm themselves down. They're relying on you to do that. They simply cannot. Once they've worked themselves up into a frenzy, they can't do it. I know myself. Once I'm up here, it takes a lot of bringing myself down. And as I say, they're young children. So you can do that. Try your best to keep calm. Try and find some ways that you can keep that calm. So, even if it means that you have to, when you're at home, just walk out of the room, make sure they're safe, walk out of the room for a few minutes, collect your thoughts. Remember what I'm saying about they don't understand it, they can't do anything about it. Try to see it from their point of view. Take a few deep breaths, calm yourself down, and go back in. There's nothing wrong with doing that. One lady I spoke to, she actually did jumping jacks to calm herself down. Now, I'm not advising you do that in the supermarket, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is try to find whatever way you can to work out how you're going to keep calm. Another one which is really good is, and I've mentioned this before on previous videos, to try imagine that you are in charge of somebody else's child, or looking after somebody else's child. Now, if they were going to go into a full-blown swinging tantrum, would you react quite as quickly to that child if it wasn't your own as you would to your child? So would you quite fly off the handle as quickly, or would you say to them, stop being silly, as a gut knee-jerk reaction? You probably wouldn't. You'd probably find that patience from somewhere, and you would probably use it. So try that one, because sometimes it works. Or try imagine somebody is watching you, because it does actually make you stop and think. It could just be something as simple as doing that. And just try to remember that the little brains are so immature that they can't cope with all these feelings that they're dealing with, and it's your sort of responsibility to try and help them and to teach them about these feelings, and to understand and look out for the triggers and explain to them what's happening. So I know it's not easy, and I haven't done a good job in the past of managing tantrums, and I really wish I'd known what I do now, because it would have helped me so much. But I get where you're coming from. I know it's difficult. I know it's okay for me to say try stay calm, because it's not easy, but you've just got to try find your own way, because if you can manage your own emotions, you're actually showing them how to deal with these emotions, aren't you? And you're not escalating it into a bigger, massive tantrum than it didn't have to be. So I hope that's been helpful for you. Bye for now.